cultured veggies. Some of you may be familiar with sauerkraut. It's similar to sauerkraut, except sauerkraut is pasteurized, and the cultured veggies that we're going to make is everything is raw. And if you pasteurize the cultured veggies, it means you heat it up, so you lose a lot of the active enzymes and friendly bacteria that you need that will improve your digestion and increase the good bacteria in your gut. So I first learned about cultured veggies through the book The Body Ecology Diet. I don't know if you can see it because it's glare, but this is an amazing book. It really shows you how to improve your immune system, rebuild your digestive system as well. And so she is a firm believer in cultured veggies. Donna Gates, who is the writer, in cultured veggies and coconut kefir water. So I started experimenting with cultured veggies because I have a really sensitive digestive system. And cultured veggies have changed my life. Okay, so when I have them on deck and I try to be regular with always having a batch, I really notice an improvement in my digestion, and I try to eat them with every meal. So what happens is when the vegetables ferment, and usually you'll use cabbage and any other vegetables that you are starting to get old, maybe not as fresh. So for example, I have some celery, I have 2 heads of cabbage here, okay, and I look through my my refrigerator. I have some carrots that I'm going to shred up. I have some basil. You can see that the basil's starting to get a little old, and instead of throwing them away, you can actually turn them into medicine, which is part of your culture veggie batch. Also, my partner and we picked some fresh dandelion leaves in the forest. We went for a hike and we saw all this amazing fresh dandelion. And usually you'll find dandelion around your yard, but you want to be careful where you pick it, because a lot of the times if there's cars or traffic, it starts to pick up on that smog and the toxins, and you don't want that. It's ideal if you find yourself going hiking and you see fresh piece of land with some dandelion. Definitely pick the roots and even the whole flower, because you can use the flower as well, but I'm just going to use the dandelion leaf. Okay, and I also saw that I had some nori roll, so I'm going to chop up some nori roll. I saw that I had a daikon. I'm going to chop up some daikon. Garlic, you can use garlic, which is really good. It is strong, but it adds a really good taste to your culture veggie batch. You could use different spices. You can start experimenting, but if you want to keep it really simple, the best way is to start with your cabbage and your carrots. Cabbage and carrots shredded up, or even just cabbage, and that alone will be really good for you. So just to give you a quick little breakdown about the science, what happens is when the cultured veggies start to ferment, meaning you put the batch, you chop up all your veggies, you put them in a tight container. You want it to be glass, and you fill it up to the top. You want it really tight, all the vegetables tying together. You store it away, ideally 70 degrees. You want that the temperature in your home or in your cabinet, or you could wrap a blanket around or a towel around it to keep it kind of warm. But the veggies start to break down, they start to ferment, okay? So when that happens, the vegetables turn into lactic acid. And lactic acid is basically what's in your saliva that helps you digest your food, okay? So already it's creating good bacteria as well. It's creating lactic acid, which helps with your enzymes, which is basically like digestive enzymes. So we want our food to digest with ease and flow. And a lot of the times we may not have enough enzymes in our systems. So this provides us with good enzymes that will help break down our food when we are eating. And for some of us, we all know that raw food is really good for us, and it's important to have raw food in your diet. But if you have a super sensitive digestive system, it may be a little tricky to eat. It may be a little hard or difficult to eat raw foods. So this is an ideal raw food to start incorporating into your diet, cultured veggies with all your meals. And if you're eating raw, also try incorporating sauerkraut, cultured veggies, that's the proper word, because it'll help you digest the raw foods and all the foods that you're eating much more easily and smoothly. Okay, so I'm going to, so we have our cabbage, okay, and I'm not going to film all of it, but just so you can kind of see the flow. So what I do is I take the top pieces of the cabbage. I'll take this. I'll even take another one, because this is actually going to go on, and I'll explain later, but after you chop it up and you put it in here, sometimes you have in this glass, sometimes you have a little bit of space, and this will really help tighten and pack it in. I'm going to put those to the side for now. So really, if you have a food processor, this would be ideal. It'll save you some time. I don't. Mine is broken. So I'm just going to chop away. So you just start to chop up your cultured veggies. Start thin. It's good to start thin, because the thinner it is, then the easier it is to kind of break down. So yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to add a little bit of the veggies that I have already shredded in here. I'm going to add some water. Make a nice smooth brine. So he recommends 3 tablespoons of salt. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get my salt. That works too. That's 1. Alright, so now I have my brine. And now I'm going to put all of my ingredients actually in this big bowl, because I want to mix them all together and really start massaging the salt with the rest of the vegetables. So I have my cabbage. Green and purple is really nice because it creates a beautiful color afterwards. It's like, okay, so I'm almost finished here. I started packing it in here. Okay, and I still have some in here, so actually what I want to do, what is good to do, to make sure you have some room, and it's also good to just tightly pack in all the veggies. Use your fist, press it down on all sides. Good. So we're making some more room, because I'm going to add the rest, which is also filled with the brine. Let that go down a little. It's already bubbling and communicating with me. Alright, so putting it in here, putting the rest in here. And the next thing that you want to do, once you find that it's already kind of filled, because I see that I actually added a lot of water, which is fine, but I still have a little bit of veggies here, and I don't want to add any more water because it's going to overflow. So I'm letting the water come out through my fingers, and of course make sure your hands are clean. Okay. It smells so good. Okay, so this looks pretty good here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the leaves of the cabbage that I first took off. I'm just going to roll it. And because there's a lot of water, it may overflow a little, but that's okay. That's why I have a pot over here, just in case. I'm just going to close this up now. Just like that. Hey, ta-da! I know there's a glare because of the sun, but you could see all the different pretty veggies. So I'm going to come back in a week. So I let mine sit for a week. You can let it sit for a few weeks. Some people let it stay 3 to 4 days, but for me, I feel like the longer you let it wait, which I feel like 7 days is a good day, is a good amount of time, the better, because then you're letting it have more good bacteria as it ferments. And literally, this will last. So let's say, okay, for 7 days, I'm going to check back in 7 days, and then I'm put it in my refrigerator. It slows down the whole fermentation process, and this will last a few months. Just keep checking on it. But what I like to do, because it's a little bit cooler out here in Taos, I like to add a towel around it. And then I'm just going to put it in my cupboard, and it'll be there for about 7 days. And so in 7 days, I'll check back and I'll show you the amazing cultured veggies. Okay, so I've been meaning to record the results of my cultured veggies, but as you can see, I already ate most of it, so I had to record right away. This batch is amazing. It's delicious. Can you see it? Yeah. Oops. Okay. So I know it's a glare. I hope you could see it, but it smells so good. It smells pretty vinegary, but there's no vinegar in here. Remember, just salt, and I made a brine and some amazing veggies. So yeah, and you could eat this with anything. Put this on the side of all your meals, and again, it'll really support you with your digestion and bring in that good bacteria, and yeah, healthy gut, healthy brain. So definitely want to try making it super easy. I would love to see your results. I would love for you to post either making it or videotape yourself making it or eating it. If you don't have the time to make it, I'd be curious if you go buy some. It's way more expensive at like a Whole Foods or something, but they do have cultured veggies, and they are really good for you. Okay, so enjoy and let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, you could ask me. Ciao.